All unauthorized citizens must stay indoors.
Remember the good old days of fake news? Real news is worse. Because any day, the antibody test is coming. The antibody test? I signed up for that shit 3 years ago. In a Burger King drive-thru. Guess what? Burger King's gone.
Hi everyone, I'm Dom Griffin, I'm a film critic, and you're watching the Armchair Auteur. This is an ongoing video series I do where we talk about new movies, old movies, screenplay analysis, that sort of thing. So if you like movies and film culture and you like to see people pick it apart, please consider subscribing. Today we're going to be reviewing the movie Songbird, which is the first, well maybe second, big Hollywood movie about COVID-19 that was filmed during the initial stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. It's produced by Michael Bay and it stars like a bunch of pretty people and also Peter Stormare. So before we get into the movie and talk about what it's about and my critique of it, I just want to get a few things out of the way. I just think it's good to lead with positivity because beyond this point, there will be very, very little of it. First, it is only 90 minutes long. Second, it is unintentionally hilarious. It's one of the funniest movies I've seen all year, and they did not intend it to be so. And three, it stars Peter Stormare.
This is our big problem in the Russian space station.
It feels good to focus on the positive. But enough of that, let's talk about what Songbird is actually about. Songbird is sort of speculative fiction, taking place 3 years into the future where the virus has mutated into COVID-23, and it has wiped out millions more, and now Americans are literally locked into their homes, placed by an unruly Gestapo, and only munis, or immune citizens, are allowed to roam free, which they do in weak I Am Legend cosplay.
Oh, I'm sorry, am I holding up the line?
Keep it moving, you muni scum!
Yeah, keep your mask on.
Anyone found to be infected during one of their daily mandatory virus checks is sent to the Q Zone.
Q Zone.
Which looks like a Neil Blomkamp movie, but worse. Within this horrific landscape, KJ Apa is a bike courier named Nico, a muni, who delivers packages to people who can afford his boss Craig Robinson's service. He's in love with a woman named Sarah, played by Sofia Carson. He air quote met by getting the wrong address on the delivery. She takes care of her aunt, who is sick, and winds up being in danger of being sent to the
Q-Zone.
So Nico has to try to get them black market passes to escape this madness, which is lucky because a rich couple, played by Demi Moore and Bradley Whitford, that he delivers to happens to be running a black market pass business on the side. There's also Alexandra Daddario as a singer turned webcam model, and the homie Paul Walter Hauser as a combat vet who was in love with her, and each of these individual strands crisscross in service of a jaundiced Romeo and Juliet pastiche, whose third act is so awful it made me want to put my fist through the screen. Now, it's important to understand that Songbird is only produced by Michael Bay, so director Adam Mason is constantly trying to ape his style, but, fails in accomplishing anything beyond surface-level color grading stuff and, an aggressive amount of product placement. And even though the movie's trailer implies a massive scope, all the montage and news footage and shit happens in the intro, so the rest of the film settles into something considerably more intimate and small-scale, even if it still looks like a movie aiming for more. It's essentially a Platinum Dunes remake of that dog-shit coastal leads flick Jay Roach did for HBO Max, and that's just awful. Which is infuriating because the movie does gesture in the direction of trying to explore the loneliness and isolation of quarantine, but can't really because instead of confining characters to screens and highlighting how limiting those interactions are, the camera is moving all the time, or there's heavy medium close-ups and wide frames, all the questionably employed visual tactics designed to give scale and scope that just muddle what's at stake. This is more of a movie than an art house look at the pandemic, obviously, so I get why there's so much drone footage and why everything feels like a bad ripoff of 28 Days Later. But the script, crummy as it is, clearly wants to say something about life under lockdown, but it gets too bogged down by essentially dramatizing every right-wing conspiracy theory about COVID to do so effectively. Maybe if there was a better focus on Stormer's character, a garbage collector the pandemic has transformed into a powerful officer in an ICE-like agency, it could be more interesting in how it echoes post-war flicks about escaping Berlin. But instead, it's a sloppy and thrown together mess that is only watchable because it's so stupid, it frequently turns into outright comedy. I don't think there's a truer moment in any movie this year than when Bradley Whitford's character is sneaking out to cheat on his wife in a full-on gas mask. But the end infuriates me because, without heavily spoiling things, it takes its two romantic leads to make decisions to perform actions that would be awful, dangerous ideas in the current COVID-19 climate. Much less some terrible sci-fi mutation version of current events the movie wants to sell you is a million times worse than what we're currently dealing with. It's all rooted in this dumb decision-making and bad planning that's kept us in this spiral for so long in the first place, and what's cost so many lives.
I realize now we weren't just delivering packages. We were delivering hope.
So my real actual final suggestion about Songbird is to just don't watch it. Just don't see it. Don't encourage this movie. But if you are going to see it, it's only really worth watching if you watched it with a bunch of friends, if you guys are all getting fucked up and laughing at it and picking it apart. It's just not a sustainable viewing experience for someone that wants to watch something they might actually end up enjoying. It is available on VOD starting today, so it's out there if you want to see it, if you want to do that. That's, you know, more power to you. You do you, but it's just bad. It's a rough movie. And I'm aware that, like, I'm kind of a Michael Bay apologist, and if Michael Bay had actually directed this movie, I'd probably be defending the shit out of it because it probably looked better, but alas. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, subscribe. Hit the little bell icon to get notifications when I put out new videos. And if you have any comments about this movie, if you've seen it, or if you just want to ask me questions about it, you can do it in the comments below. I will be sure to answer them. And yeah, I hope you guys are staying safe, being good to each other and yourselves, wearing your masks, all that stuff. So thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.